Hello once again, everyone. Now, I know what you're thinking. Boo, another Mandela catalog video? You just made one last week. I know. If I could stop talking about the series, I would. But I want to make just one more, since the series is legit one of my favorites. However, since I've already covered the timeline of events of the Mandela catalog, what else could I talk about? Well, for those who saw my other videos, you'll remember a little acronym with four distinct letters. I, H, U, and D. For those who don't know, these stand for isolation, hope/hopelessness, unknown, and depths. And these four categories help compose what is known as the IHUD Method. To put it simply, every successful horror game, movie, TV show, web series, etc. has to properly implement these four categories in order to be effective in their scares, no matter how much or how little the amount may be. While I have a much bigger video planned for the first official entry into the series, I figured I'd cap off this inadvertent two-parter regarding everyone's favorite Wisconsin town and give you all a small taste into what's in store. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IHUD Method, entry number 0, the manDela Catalog. And also, I apologize if my voice sounds a bit awful. I am recovering from a head cold, but I wanted to get this video out regardless. Let me preface this by saying, I'm going to be speaking as though you already know the story. If you don't, please do consider skedaddling over to the video linked in the top right to learn more about the manDela catalog from the front page to where we are currently stopped at. It'll help clear up any confusion because this time I'll be going in order of video release, not in universe order. With that being said, let's begin with the eye of the storm, isolation. Believe it or not, there's a decent amount of moments in the story when you/the character you are in perspective of are isolated in some way. As a matter of fact, in every main video, besides Overthrown, the character or characters are isolated and we get to see it. Now, to clarify, isolation in this case refers more to the idea that, since the viewer has no control over the events in the video, if the viewer were in the situation itself. Moments like Mark being trapped in his room after days upon days of alternates stalking him, Adam in Caesar's house/the basement, Jonah in the car speeding away while the alternate taunts him, all encapsulate the feeling of isolation in the Mandela catalog. However, nothing compares to Thatcher and his run-in with the unnamed alternate from Volume 333, stalking him for what seems like 17 years straight, staring at him in his closet, and mimicking him during the initial encounter. That scene with the alternate mimicking him, by the way, is one of the most dread-filling scenes in the entire series. The sheer idea of the alternate making it so that no matter what the characters do, these things will not leave them alone and will torment the characters until they end themselves is terrifying, since the alternates don't appear to be killable. Moving on to hope/hopelessness, we can immediately scrap the first half, because let me tell you, there is no point of the series where there is any semblance of hope for any character in this series. It's just a dreary, ugly, downward slide into worse and worse scenarios for those that are still living, willingly or not. Why don't I just list off the names of established characters and see how many are even alive at this point in the story?
Keith Cliffin, 92, locked and scared inside his room, haunted for days on end, his mind got blown. Caesar Torres faked it all, he and his mom take a fall. Jude Murray, in a hurry, failed to stay alive on the call. Jonah Marshall met his fate, speeding down the interstate. Adam killed as an infant, limp out a bit too late. Johnny on the CRT, Dave can no longer see. Sarah Eve, still alive, and Thatcher left Weaver to die. The Mandela Catalog, no sense in trying, keeping people from dying. The Mandela Catalog, who cares what you say, if they kill you anyway.
For those keeping count, in one way or another, 9 out of the 12 established characters a whole 75% have been killed as a result of the alternates. 9 out of 11 if we don't count Johnny. Just thought it'd be funny to include him. If that doesn't convince you enough, there is an entire monologue spoken by our favorite mid-30s going on 22-year-old cop, where he details the constant cries and pleads from the citizens, begging him to uphold his status as a savior, despite the fact that he has no more ability to fend off the alternates than they do. No matter who you are, as long as you let them affect you, there truly is no way to have hope. Despite the MCPD's motto, brightness is the only thing that manDela County can't provide. Next stop is the Pit of the Unknown, the place where nothing is described and features remain hidden. Crazily enough, despite showing us what one form of an alternate looks like in Volume 333 with the unnamed alternate, Alex has substituted the physical unknown with the hypothetical unknown. At this point, we know what alternates in their base form look like, as well as how they look when impersonating other people. That's a given. However, even at this point in the series, there is still one major mystery that might never get solved until near the end of the series, and that mystery is, why do alternates do what they do? Sure, there can be endless theories about what the alternates want or why they do what they do, but we may never know, where do they come from? Can they be killed? And what happens when you kill them, if they can be? Questions like these help raise fear in the viewer since not knowing practically anything about a basically omnipresent threat is horrifying. Finally, the last category in the main four is depths/darkness, and oh boy, this series is full of darkness. From the moments between Mark and Caesar, Thatcher's journey from Heathcliff to the Marays to the police station, but how is it used effectively? Besides the ability to use darkness and distance to help disguise/conceal the alternates, specifically with Caesar's face in Volume 1 restored, the arm of the alternate in the Murray household, and the alternate using Ruth's face in Thatcher's closet, it also relates to the time when a decent amount of these events occur. Unless I'm mistaken, most of the important events occur in late evening or early morning, a time when it would be harder to receive help from any source, be it police or neighboring houses, if they dare to venture out to investigate. The most prevalent usage of darkness, with how it relates to nighttime, would be the scene with Jonah, and the alternate that attacks him in the night. If the ending events of Volume 2 took place at any other time of day, Jonah would have likely been safe from an alternate attack, as it wouldn't be able to sneakily take out Jonah under the veil of night. Ultimately, though, the usage of darkness relies on the viewer's imagination, allowing their minds to fill in the blanks of what they can't see, what's happening between our characters and the alternates, taking advantage of our paranoia, and essentially making us scare ourselves. Now, with the 4 points of IHUD out of the way, we could talk about the catalysts that help exemplify the 4 pillars: sound design, visual design, and spook factor. Now, when it comes to manDela Catalog, there really is only examples of the first two, with there being barely any jump scares, spare the ear rape arms that come out in Volume 4, and Adam's cries of pain in manDela Catalyst. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, since too many jump scares leads to the whole experience feeling cheap or oversaturated, which can lead to the viewer ignoring the rest of the series as a whole. However, where jump scares are few and far between, the sound and visual design shine through the darkness of manDela County. While I won't comment on the earlier episodes with the Photoshop faces and kinda hokey audio glitches, since that was just what Alex wanted to do back then, the more recent entries impressed me greatly. Primarily, the way that the alternates are animated and portrayed in scenes like the hallway encounter in Volume 333, the Ruth in the closet in Volume 4, and the whole interview with Adam and Presto, it still sends chills of fear down my spine. The presentation and improvement in his craft fills me with pride, watching Alex going from a teen with an iPhone to being able to direct a team to create these twisted and eerie characters will always be mesmerizing. In addition to that, in a way that only TMC can achieve, the poor quality in audio and video, when needed, is balanced perfectly. Specifically, the moments like the Face Studio 2 figure
Come to Face Studio 2
and the ending of Presto. These segments capitalize on the unknown by keeping us wondering if something is going to happen, only for the tension to go unanswered and the viewer left paranoid of what will come next. In case you couldn't tell, I absolutely love this series and could talk about it all day long if I didn't eventually run out of words to describe it. At the very least, according to the criteria I set for this series, manDela Catalog achieves nearly every category, and the one or two that it doesn't, the absence doesn't ruin the experience. I would love to give a massive shout out to Alex kIster, Teenage Disaster, and the rest of the manDela Catalog crew for being able to create such a wonderful little series to enjoy and analyze. Here's to hoping that I don't disappoint with the actual first entry of the series. Thank you all so much for watching, stay tuned, and until next time, don't forget to spread the word.